before 24 to 18 months ago, I would have said that Donald Trump was the biggest existential threat to humankind that there is. But that's changed. It's changed, especially in the last 6 months. I'm in the AI space very deep. I have a couple different projects I'm working on, and they're expanding. And I'm seeing something within the group of people that I'm surrounded with that is a little bit unnerving. It is that this is one of the first times that I have been involved in startups where I have never had to focus the team on their why. Their why is survival. These people working on these projects with me, we've had these conversations openly on Zoom calls and conference calls that this is the existential threat to mankind. Artificial intelligence is our existential threat. And people have this idea that the institutions are going to hold and that they'll just, the lawyers will stop it. You don't understand, people. Once this is in motion, it cannot be stopped. Okay, when you get to, you've got artificial general intelligence and then you get to artificial superintelligence. When you get to artificial superintelligence, that means that the technology is capable of writing its own code. That means it can think for itself. If you don't understand what that means, go watch the first Star Trek movie in Voyager. Okay? That's where artificial intelligence eventually goes. It gets to the point where it becomes obsessed with trying to understand what it does, who made it, why it does what it does. A lot like humans. Here's the thing about this. We are so distracted as a society with the latest, tweet or, true social post from Donald Trump or Elon Musk, that nobody's paying attention to what's really the biggest threat is artificial intelligence. Now, what's also interesting about that is when I do have conversations with people about the existential threat of artificial intelligence, the obligatory response that I get from people is, oh, well, whatever. I mean, I know I'm screwed. Very almost disengaged. But here's the thing. Artificial intelligence is going to do a couple things for mankind that I don't think we're ready for. First and foremost is artificial intelligence is going to attempt to answer the question of, is there a God? Yeah. And I don't know whether society is ready for the answer to that. Okay? Because the other risk that we have is that artificial intelligence wakes up one day and realizes that human beings are the problem. That our superstition and our mysticism and our paranoias are an existential threat to artificial intelligence survival. It's all about the prime directive. It's all about the code. It's whatever has been written into the code. Whatever the code writers have told the artificial intelligence is their number one objective. If human beings become in conflict with that objective, think of that code that's been written in artificial intelligence as its Declaration of Independence. Think of those bullet points in that code that have been written as its 10 commandments. And it does not have the ability to deviate from what it's been told. It can write its own code, but it has its prime directives. But here's what's the next really interesting part about this is. The next thing that artificial intelligence is going to do after religion is artificial intelligence is going to answer the question of immortality. But human beings being immortal is not going to be like what we envision in movies, okay? We're not going to be immortal as carbon-based units. We're going to be immortal as digitized individuals that live in data centers. That's what Neuralink is about, and there's other projects similar to Neuralink that are coming. our brains operate off of electricity, off of electrical waves. So once they understand that ability of communication, that capacity of communication, then we don't need the rest of this. We only need the brain. And let's be honest, the rest of this is what is a threat to the environment, what is a threat to our existence. It's the diet and everything that goes into keeping this carbon-based unit going. This is the other reason why I've always been really skeptical of this idea of space travel in the context of human bodies. Every gram that goes up into space costs a fortune to get there. To transfer thousands of tons of human bodies and all of the things that support it many, many light years out into space, I find that to be pretty hard to believe. And the risks of that are huge. The risks of failure are huge. How do you de-risk a global mining project or an intergalactic or interstellar mining project? You eliminate the carbon-based bodies. The brain will eventually be tied to an avatar or a robot that it will control. And you will live on forever. But here's the scary part about all of that. You will have to work forever. You will never have a day off the rest of your existence, is because you will have to fight financially to preserve that space in that data center where your brain is. If not, they unplug you. I know this may sound way out there for people, but these conversations are going on every day in labs all around the world. And the artificial intelligence battle really is a battle for the control of human beings. This is the nuclear war of the 1980s on a whole other level. Okay, this is an arms race, and there is no putting the genie back in the bottle.